Joyce Napier, the CTV Ottawa Bureau Chief. And Joyce, my goodness, the fallout of this is pretty extraordinary. This is 3 years, 3 months into a tenure that has been rife with controversy, fraught with all sorts of unhappiness and allegations, culminating in this. What do you make of it?
No, it was interesting because Julie Payette was such a wow candidate. Remember, and I remember it clearly 3.5 years ago when she was announced, it was sort of like, oh yes, so here is a scientist, an astronaut, a woman, a bilingual from Quebec. So, you know, sort of on paper, this was the most wonderful, fantastic, and perfect candidate to be the Governor General of Canada in a 21st century, and a single mom, right? So really a superwoman. What seems to have occurred here, Evan, is that in the enthusiasm of having possibly found this pearl of a Governor General, it seems that she was not properly vetted, and that is probably the first mistake. So at the beginning, it was all, you know, we started hearing that there were rumblings of problems at the beginning of her tenure, remember? And then we all thought, well, that's growing pains. It is such a difficult job to do. I mean, it looks like, hey, that's so much fun. You get to live in a great mansion. Actually, she didn't. They had to renovate the private quarters. But 6 months after, it took 6 months to renovate, all of a sudden, Julie Payette did not want to live there. And then, you know, we started hearing grumblings at Rideau Hall that things were not going well. And then if you scratch the surface and you go back to her previous jobs in Montreal, namely, there had also been issues there. So had she been properly vetted, probably by a committee, these things would have come up. There were red flags, but because she was such a wow candidate and such, you know, on paper and her CV and everything spoke to, you know, here is a great Canadian that will be Governor General. And I think that other things were omitted, such as a proper vetting, because she sounded on paper and she fit the liberal sort of narrative of, you know, a woman, a strong woman. So really she had all the attributes to be a really good Governor General, except, you know, these people and such high profile and such an important role, whether you agree or disagree with the role of a Governor General in Canada, whether we should even have a Governor General in Canada, it is and remains an important role, you know, and it's not always a ceremonial role exclusively. It is largely ceremonial, but not exclusively. So, you know, I think the mistake was made in choosing her.